have to live with the prospect of spending a very sizable part of their salary paying back this horrendous debt that has been run up by private companies, private banks. And many people are raising all sorts of questions about this, questions of moral nature also. How can it be that private companies in a free market economy like Iceland run up such debt and then expect the taxpayer to take the hit? And this is a discussion that has not yet been resolved. But we fear that for this reason, many of our young people who go abroad to both Europe and the United States will want to look for job opportunities elsewhere before they return. We hope that is not going to happen because we are very hopeful that we are going to claw our way back. And I say that because we have a very strong economic foundation. We talked about the resources before. We have a very well-educated young workforce. We are a technology-driven society. And we think we have a very good chance of overcoming this challenge within the next 5 to 10 years.
Isn't that a problem for a country like the United States also, which is also going through a downturn where the shortfall has to be met by the taxpayer and where jobs are scarce at the moment? And so if you find better jobs in other countries, there will be a tendency for students to jump at those jobs which exist in other countries which do not have as serious an economic problem as does the United States itself.
You're absolutely right, but it sounds cynical, but our best hope is that these young people will not find suitable employment in the United States.
There's little risk of that at present. Who's next?
My name is Angelica Richardson. I'm a sophomore at FDU. My question was, I saw in the paper, it said that the unemployment rate was 1%. I just wanted to know, how is this possible given the economic crisis in the US and people are losing their jobs? How do you guys maintain such a low percentage of unemployed people in your country?
I'm sure I didn't hear you right.
She says unemployment rate is 1% only in Iceland.
I only wish it were. Unfortunately, our unemployment rate is now running in double digits. Right. We had almost full employment at that time, but we now fear that we may have unemployment rates of 12 to 15%.
I believe Wikipedia may have failed us again. Who would like to ask the next question?
Hello. My name is Franklin Collado. I'm from the Dominican Republic. And in the middle of the crisis here, is going to be opportunity for investment, like President talked about construction, education, and other area. What will be a good area to invest right now in Iceland? What if it's, any country or investor want to go to put his money in Iceland? What will be a good area to invest right now?
Well, I think Iceland can offer you some very competitive rates when it comes to energy consumption, because we can produce energy cheaply, and it is clean energy. So if you are active in an energy-intensive industry, you might think of bringing your company to Iceland and put up shop there. And you can do that in many different areas. I suggested to the Indians when I was there, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned India, Kamal, but...
You've got India on your mind. It's not very good of you.
I suggested to them that instead of manufacturing solar panels in Germany, at great expense, and, well, I'm sorry there was a German gentleman who spoke earlier. I should have been more careful. But I suggested to them that instead of drawing on carbon fuels to manufacture photovoltaic panels in Germany or other European countries, they might think of doing it in Iceland instead.
What benefits the government provide? Is there any quick target?
Yes, we are adjusting the tax structure. We I think offer such companies a 15% rebate on all the profits they make, but we have to do better, obviously, in order to become competitive. But the advantage of setting up shop in Iceland, of course, is that you can look to both the North American market and the European market, since we are members of the European Economic Area. So it carries also some advantages for you in terms of penetrating the European market.
No, we need to go deeper into this question, because the like case is that of Ireland. In the case of Ireland, you had a country where the labor was available, highly educated. Opportunities existed because it was of its membership of the European Union, and investment rushed into Ireland, particularly from the United States, for manufacture of US goods in Ireland. In other words, outsourcing of production. I would imagine that the same opportunity would exist in Iceland also. But it requires an adjustment of the tax structure. But you have a great advantage in a highly educated workforce. Is that being maximized? That is the question that is being asked. And how do you intend to maximize it by adjusting the tax structure?
Well, we are probably not doing as much as we should be doing, but there is another obvious advantage for companies that are specializing in energy-intensive industries, because they can come and put up their plants in Iceland. The way, for instance, the aluminum smelting companies have done, and they can do so without incurring much cost in terms of greenhouse gas emissions. So it is also beneficial from that point of view. It helps them getting around the Kyoto requirements. But we have to explore as best we can how we can attract foreign investment to Iceland these days. It is not easy, of course, because there isn't all that much money to go around. Credit has dried up in the international marketplace, and you need credit in order to get the wheels in motion again, unfortunately. So this is not the best time, but if we are to find our way out of our current straits, we need to do this, yes.
I think we have time for one more question.
Good evening, Mr. Ambassador. My name is Abdulaziz Ali. I am from Yemen. My question is, Iceland seems to have an interesting mix of a social welfare system that is very much nationalized and government-run, and a capitalist economic system. And with the recent economic meltdown, I think consumer confidence is going to be low. So the road to long-term recovery, which, according to what you suggested, would be government intervention, how do you think that is going to be sustainable? And do you think government will be playing a bigger role in the economic life, generally speaking, in Iceland? Or is it going to be going back to a capitalist economy?
No, we haven't given up on the capitalist system, although we seem to be headed for an era of big government, not only in my country. That certainly seems to be the case also in this country. But these are unusual times, and we need government intervention in order to pump sufficient funds into the system to get the wheels of the economy in motion again. Now, we, for instance, hope that we can reprivatize our commercial banks as soon as the opportunity offers itself. So we do not want to go down this road of state nationalization.